Hello traders, John at StockBookie.com. Today we're looking at the SPY, the IWM, the Qs, the DIA, and the IYT. We follow the daily, weekly, monthly time frames. We use technical analysis here at StockBookie.com. If you like these videos, go to my website, sign up, it's free, or click down here in the bottom right hand corner and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And guys, if you're looking for a new broker, check out CobraTrading.com. I've been using these guys for years. Active traders, you got to check them out. Go there, tell them StockBookie sent you, or sign up online and use promo code StockBookie. Guys, CobraTrading.com, best in the business, hands down. All right, daily chart, Spider, 50 million on the day, 28 cents up. But what a day it was, guys. Let's go to the 10-minute intraday chart. Right out of the gate, they came in, first candle of the day. First candle actually only had about 4 million, so not that great, but man, we filled the gap right down here at the 242.93, and boom, this thing took off and never looked back. We even got into the upper, to these moving averages, and this little bit of consolidation, it just kept grinding all the way to fill the gap, consolidated across the 200 MA, and then popped at the end of the day. The shorts gave up, and they said, holy cow, not again. Buy the dip is living and well, guys. So 10-minute chart, that pretty much tells the story. Daily, though, they did close it right on top of the 50 MA and trying to make a run for the 20 MA as well. Big trend line coming up. If we could pop through here and pop through the 618 at 245.54, we're definitely going to be going to fill this gap up at 246, 247 area, as well as the 750 retrace. We get past that, we got to come to the 248.91, and then ultimately we'll go to that 250 even number, 255, and possibly 260 area if this pattern starts to play out and starts moving up. It is slightly bullish. We are on top of the 50 MA now, so that puts it in a little bit more of a bullish stance, so watch for that. But again, hats off to the bulls, guys. Came right in, did what they had to do, and this is the gap fill down in this area. We might have missed it by a penny or so, but mama mia, just took off straight up. Still inside this bar. That's a little bit bearish bar here, big inside red bar. But ultimately, bulls, you got to get above it, 246.55, fill the gap, and then higher prices to come. If this keeps chopping around in this range and below the 50 and the 20 MA, then I'm thinking we're going to head towards 240. We're going to hit this pivot here around 235.50 with the 200 MA, and ultimately fill this gap down here around 232.44. If it gets down in that area, we're going to watch it, see what happens, see if it consolidates, or do we just buy the dip again and have it go right up, back up to the highs. We're going to reevaluate this as it falls, if and when it does fall, because at this point, guys, this is your big trend line that's holding on, and we did close right on top of it again. We got right below, boom, right back above. So right below, boom, we got right back above. So they're trying to save this market. So watch this big trend line here. If we do close below that again, and we start confirming down below this trend line in the 50 and the 20 MA, then lower prices will be coming. Nothing wrong though. 50 million on the day, guys. That pretty much tells the story on how they're going to save the markets. All right, let's go to the IWM. Now this one, intraday action, was really interesting. Where the SPY just pretty much moved up and that was it. But this one came in and look at that. They fought right back, closed it right on that trend line, closed it right above the 200 MA, still below the 20, still in a weak, bearish inside bar pattern. Little nice wedge here too. Look at that. That thing came down after it hit the top, and then started pulling back and boom, straight up. But check out the intraday action in this one. This one was choppy. I mean, this one took off, hit this, came right back down. They were shaking people up and down on this one. Usually the future traders on this stuff, just shaking them up and down, brought it back in. I mean, we didn't hit anything down here. I guess I can open up, let's see if we hit anything on the 60-minute, maybe a moving average. Yeah, almost to the 50 MA down here on the 60-minute chart, but didn't even make it and popped it right back up. This is actually consolidating on the 60 for higher prices. We'll see if we get that tomorrow. But back to the 10-minute. Look at this action in the beginning. Instead of straight up like the SPY and everything else, this one chopped, and then took off, came back in, chopped, came back in, closed below the 20. No great shakes. You probably had a little bit of profit taking for people who went long down in here. Because, man, it was a great trade. 136.27 to 136 or 137.61, a little over a buck. Gosh, are we done with that trade and out and on to the next one, guys. But let's go back to the daily. Daily chart, again, nice bearish pattern. Back above the 20 or the 200 MA, still closed below the 20, and the 20 is pushing this thing down. I'd expect the gap up and this thing keep going. If it doesn't, it starts pulling back, then this bearish pattern, still consolidating in the lower range. I'm thinking lower prices to come. So it's not really telling us too much. Great up move on this day. You know, what can you say? 20 million. The volume was pretty light on this one as well. But hey, hats off to the bulls. They took over, grinded this thing right back up. Buy the dippers came out, and they do what they do. Buy the dip. So IWM, guys, watch out for this. Still lagging, just like the IYT. So keep an eye on that one. Let's go to the Qs. So the Qs recaptured the 50 and the 20 today. What a day it was for these guys, too. Unlike the IWM, the Qs were like the SPY. Caught this down. I don't know if there was a gap down here. Let's check it out. Did it fill the gap? No. Oh, yeah, look at that. Filled the gap, too, on this one. Holy crap. Filled the gap. Never look back, guys. Straight up, just like the SPY. So there's a buy program. We fill the gap. Boom. Buy program comes in, pushes it up, closes it above the MAs. Everything's fine again. Daily chart, though. Daily chart, still bullish, guys. Up in this, just chopping around up here in this high, in this high area on the chart are the all-time highs. But we're inside these bars, guys, until we close above 144. Fill this gap at 144.39, get above this trend line, then higher prices, 146 to 150 area, 155 if it keeps going. Remember, it's up sideways. It's still sloppy, choppy action, but we got back and recaptured the MAs today. But big point here, we got to get above this red bar and get above this gap fill and continue going. And of course, this trend line here too. If this keeps chopping around below the 50 MA and the 20 MA, and it gets above, gets below, gets above, then this will be chopping around in a slightly bearish pattern. I still think we're going to retest the 135.93 and then come back to the 200 MA and then possibly lower. You got a gap down here at 130.42. So again, upside 150 to 155, downside 132, to 130.47, and then we'll figure out if this thing comes down, then we'll have to look where it goes. I still think we're going to the November lows. It's just a matter of time, which is 113.63. People think I'm nuts, but this stuff takes time when these markets are making rounded tops. Look at this. Makes a little top, makes another little top. Will we actually get a little head and shoulder pattern here? Maybe. Still too early to tell, but I like what I'm seeing here. Inside bar, bearish pattern, and we're still inside this bar too, so it hasn't got above it. Chopping around up and down. Still recaptured the 50 and the 20. Bullish stance. Slightly bearish setup, but overall, you are in a bullish stance, possibly setting up for higher prices. But a lot of times when these charts are at all-time highs, they tend to fail or tend to grind. Pull back and then bounce, pull back, bounce, and then maybe just a slow stair step down. But we'll keep an eye on the Qs. Volume was okay today, but no great shakes for a Tuesday. We'll see what we get tomorrow in tomorrow's action. Let's go into the DIA. DIA volume sucked again on this one. We only had 20 million or 2 million on the day. But look what this did. It filled the gap just like the others did. Hit the 50 MA this time and boom, right back up. Tried to recapture this trend line and the 20 MA and just couldn't do it. Fell apart. But hats off, guys. Same thing. Straight up, a little bit of a pause, straight up, and then just grind it away. Basically, everyone bought puts here and they just got grinded today. So we're not doing anything with puts right now, but we will be thinking about adding some puts to the Qs, to the IWM, to the SPY if we move up a little higher in the next couple of days, or we're going to write some calls, something like that. We'll figure something out as the markets are working their way up to new highs, or trying to at least. Let's go back to the daily again. Daily chart, nothing wrong, but we are down. We are slightly sideways, a little bit of a bearish pattern, then the up sideways, a little bit of a micro bull, nothing crazy, but let's see. Bottom line, bulls, you got to get above this red bar, fill the gap, and continue higher. If you do that, 225, 230, 235. If you can't get above this trend line, fill the gap, get above this red candle, then we'll look for some downside action. You're gonna hit the 618. You got a gap right here, and ultimately the 200 MA around 206. Then you have another gap fill right around 203.94 or so. If it goes down here, I'm sure it's going to overshoot. Probably go to the 200, maybe 198. Is there anything down here? Yeah, there you go. You have a nice gap fill around 198.57. Then you have great consolidation, which will become support as this one comes down if it does. Remember, this is a big trend line here. It did get over. Try to make a shoot for it today. Did not make it. Let's see what tomorrow's action brings. And then Friday's close is going to be important, like it always is. But man, just chopping, guys. Volume's been a little bit higher on these sell days here, and it comes back, disappears, tends to float again. That's pretty much the routine, guys. Over and over and over, and then it just grinds. So if you bought puts down here because, oh my gosh, the market's going to fall, you're getting grinded today. And then, you know, who knows? Maybe they click it over and bring it right back down and sell it off. Who knows at this point, guys? Just keep following the charts, slow and steady. Make sure you have the right size positions out there. Don't overload the boat in any position, guys. No more than 10% of your total portfolio in any position. That will protect you in these markets. All right, so IYT, volume was okay. I mean, yesterday was pathetic. Today it was a little bit better, but look what they did, guys. Right back above the big trend line down here, guys. It's pretty amazing. Not that this is a key trend line, but the other thing is too, they got it above the 20 and the 200 MA as well. You know, got to have something. Remember, this one was lagging, so they got to get some, you know, something out of the transports. Maybe it starts grinding up to new all-time highs, but still got to contend with this big red candle and then this gap fill. If it could get above the 170 area, still have a couple bucks to go, then this one will continue to have higher prices. Still have the 618, still have this gap and this gap window up in here. But if this thing could get some volume coming up in the next couple days, because look at that, it had nothing, a little bit better today. Let's see if it rises tomorrow. So we got to get above 275,000. If it gets above that, then we'll probably look, and it'll probably get to 168.46 up to this top pivot here. And if it really starts to go, they're going to try to go for the 50 MA right here and try to get it back above all the moving averages to be more in a bullish stance, and that's going to help the bulls come out and buy the dip. Oh man, here it goes. The IYT or the transports are getting ready to rip again, all-time highs. And if it does go back 175, then 180, 185 will be the targets. If this thing just keeps chopping around in this lower area of consolidation. Remember, inside bar, couldn't get above, came down. Inside bar, this time it closed below, so that's a little bit weak. I'm thinking it's going to retrace maybe in this area and then the next leg down, so we'll watch out for that. But guys, hats off. $1.50 up today, almost 1% on the green on the day. What can you say, guys? You know, he came back with a vengeance, closed above exactly what you want to see if you're bullish. But let's see if we get some follow through, or maybe a little bit pause and then the setup for higher prices, or do we just click over and come right back in and shoot for the 157.70 area? Because if this thing comes and slips, we're going right down here, guys, the double bottom. And if that area gives out, then we're probably going to start filling some gaps down here, and ultimately back to the November lows around 140.170. So higher prices, 175 to 180, 185. Lower prices, 157.92. Then it's a couple gaps, 151, and then 145 down in here. And if it does make it to November lows, that's going to be 140, 183 or so. So guys, as I always say, just stay buoyant in these markets. Today, you know, you thought, oh my gosh, everything's going down. Holy cow. And then boom, close your eyes. 6 hours later, 7 hours later, we're green and everything's fine again. So just remember, buy the dip at your own risk. It's been working for a long time, guys, but eventually that trade will not work. And that's when traders go all in, margin, the whole 9 yards, and they get wiped out. Just take baby steps, guys. This is a marathon. It's not a sprint. One trade at a time. Cover it, and then to the next one. Just keep trading. All right, guys. Thanks for coming to my YouTube page. Thanks for watching my videos. I really do appreciate it. And guys, hopefully you're having a great day. And let's see what happens tomorrow. God bless. See you on the charts.